Since it's Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Friend request, subscribe. Let's speak boxing. I know you wonder what's in the background and stuff like that. I was actually I moved down to Miami and stuff like that. But since ever since I moved to Miami from Orlando, I've been constantly with work and everything. I've been constantly going back and forth. You know, I have storages and stuff like that. So I've been constantly going back and forth, grabbing some stuff from storage. And little by little, just bringing it to down south. So that's why you got a bunch of stuff in the background. But anyways, what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about some boxing. We're going to talk about just all in all, you know. I know the videos that I created, you get a little bit of alcohol last night. Adrien Broner lost to Shawn Porter. But in the heat of the moment, you start saying crazy stuff. You know, start saying that Adrien Broner's a bum. A lot of people get caught up in the hype. And it's always good to speak about boxing and create a video afterwards, the aftermath, you know, when things settle down. Now, just looking at the fight again, because I watched the fight again this morning and stuff like that, I'm not going to discredit Adrien Broner. Yes, at the end of the day, you can't really blame him, you know. He's doing the most that he could do as far as making himself marketable. And yes, he is right. He's definitely marketable. Hate him or love him, a lot of people, like last night, paid to watch him. Well, actually, didn't pay, but attended to watch him lose, you know. And that's what he has to do to make himself marketable. And that's exactly what it is. Because at the end of the day, you know, everyone, that's his job. Just like everybody 9 to 5 and stuff like that and works, or entrepreneurs, works from home and owns their own businesses or whatever. This is his business, is his bread and butter. He needs to be relevant. You know, in order for him to be relevant, he's just talking shit, you know. But anyways, all in all, the fight itself, I was a little bit disappointed with the outcome of the fight. You know, I think Adrien Broner, I don't know what happened. He did came into the fight, I think 152 or something like that, 154, something like that, 156, something like that, and then Porter came in at 160. So this whole 144 catch weight shouldn't have happened. It definitely shouldn't have happened. And Porter, you can tell in the beginning of the fight, Porter was cold. You know, he was definitely cold. Adrien Broner was cold as well. Both fighters were cold, a little bit of nerves, but coming into the third round and stuff like that, that's when things started opening up and Porter started warming up. And Porter definitely had a good game plan. He was just luring Broner in. You know, he kept backing up and just explodes out of nowhere on him. And, you know, Adrien Broner gets caught with some big shots. All in all, you know, Adrien Broner got outboxed, outclassed. He really didn't know what to do as far as defensive-wise. He had no game plan. He wasn't utilizing the jab. He wasn't working the body whatsoever. I'm really, really shocked that he wasn't utilizing the jab. You know, he wants to compare himself to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. does a hell of a job as far as keeping the distance, keeping the separation there with the jab, and he pops the jab. Anytime, you know, that discourages a lot of boxers, and at the end of the day, you know, it's considered a jab, but still that shit, you know, that shit shocks you, and that shit wears you down. And that just, you know, that sets the pace of the fight, you know. And he wasn't utilizing the jab, whatever. And then jabs that he was throwing it, he wasn't really popping it. He was just putting it out there and smothering Porter's face. I'm really disappointed with that whole outcome of that fight. You know, he stuck with that left hook, that leading left hook, which is okay. I seen where he was coming from, but that's all he had the whole entire night, was leading the left hook. You know, he was able to catch Porter with leading right, straight right. He did it about twice and then stopped it. And that's the whole thing about, I hate to mention Mayweather and Broner and stuff like that, but I have to mention Mayweather and Broner because, you know, Adrien Broner thinks he's Floyd Mayweather Jr. He thinks he thinks he's Floyd Mayweather Jr. And, you know, when you get on that level as far as expertise or not even experience, you got to do whatever it takes to win the fight. And usually one game plan doesn't work. As the fight progresses and stuff like that, just mixing things up and see what works. You know, it seems like AB, you know, that left hook wasn't working at all. Trying to knock out Porter wasn't working at all. Trying to put his head down and elbows, and Steele actually had to take a point away from him. I'm surprised he didn't take 3 points away from him. Just pushing, all kinds of shit. Low blow, headbutts, elbows, all kinds. You know, Broner was just fighting dirty that whole entire fight. And you can tell he didn't want to do it, but he ended up taking a point away. That's really, really discouraging. But am I going to discredit Adrien Broner? No, Adrien Broner still has skills. He definitely still has skills. And a lot of fighters, like I said, you know, I'm not sure this generation in boxing, yes, we're a generation of catch weight and stuff like that. You have Mayweather Jr., you have Manny Pacquiao, now you have Canelo Alvarez, you have Cotto. These guys are making money. These guys are the epitome of boxing. You know, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to make money. And, you know, it's not about the heavyweights anymore. It's actually about the 147, 154s, welterweight and light middleweight. That's where the money's at. You know, that's exactly where the money's at. And these boxers are chasing, you know, they're forcing themselves to come up from 130 to 147 just to chase the money and try to get the payday and stuff like that. Well, a lot of fighters can't do it. They can't carry the weight. And, you know, I'm not making any excuses for Adrien Broner. You know, Adrien Broner, you know, he's a natural 150 fighter, but he's a small 150 fighter. He's a small 147 welterweight fighter. He needs to stick where, you know, where he's dangerous at. I know he's going to have issues with making weight, but that's where the discipline comes in. He had a couple fights at 140, was effective at 140. I know Al Heyman and stuff like that. They kind of set him up for that. But stick at 140, man. If you're dominated at 140, stop trying to be like Floyd Mayweather Jr. You know, only certain fighters can do it. You know, Gamboa as well. Gamboa with 50 Cent and stuff like that, trying to chase Floyd Mayweather Jr. Got his ass moving up in weight. Why are you moving up in weight, man? You were dominating at the 130, 135, or actually 130 division. You know, just stay there, bro. You know, stay there and just milk it as much as you can. Milk it and just dominate that division. But it seems as though everyone's chasing the money. Everyone thinks they're Floyd Mayweather Jr. And these promoters, that's all they do, man. They hype up fighters just to line up the fights, and they knock them down. They knock them down, and they end up not being successful, man. Only certain fighters can do it. My hat goes out to Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley was able to move up in weight and has success in the welterweight division. Marcus Maidana was able to move up in weight and have slight success, even though he lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr. twice, but that's a legitimate loss. Come on now, that's a legitimate opponent to lose to. You know, Amir Khan, he's moving up in weight, having success. Only certain fighters can do things like that. Not many fighters can do it. You know, you have fighters, even, you know, Canelo Alvarez, little by little, he's moving up in weight, going down in weight, but he's a natural 154 fighter, and he sticks there, even though he can fight at 160. But not many fighters can do it. You're not Manny Pacquiao. You're not Floyd Mayweather Jr. There's no way you're going to move up 4 weight divisions and just dominate like that. I think AB, as far as his advisors, as far as his corner, his coaching team, and stuff like that, at the end of the day, they fucked him up, man. At the end of the day, he fucked himself up. It's just one of those sad cases where hopefully he can bounce back. I know a lot of people compared him to Andre Berto, and, you know, he's pretty much like an Andre Berto. You beat Andre Berto, then, you know, you get a Mayweather fight. You never know, man. I'm be really pissed off if Shawn Porter just cashed out on a Mayweather fight, and Mayweather's going to fight Shawn Porter right now. You never know, man. And that's something that I definitely don't want to see. I think, you know, if Mayweather was in that fight against Shawn Porter, that should have been easy work. You know, there's no reason. Shawn Porter's a good fighter. Great fighter, really, really aggressive, but AB, you know, Porter wasn't at his best. You know, Porter was leaving himself open every time. He was throwing some looping left hooks and right hooks. Nothing was straight in the pocket and stuff like that, so it was easy counterable. You know, Mayweather just counter him all day, all day. You know, anytime Broner popped the jab, he caught him, and then he stopped with the jab. Like, I really didn't get it. I didn't get that whole fight. They both fought sloppy. I didn't think Porter was at his best. I don't think, definitely Broner wasn't at his best, but I think Broner needs to stay out the welterweight division and just stay at 140, man. Just stay at 140. You know, Danny Garcia's moving up in that weight. Danny Garcia's going to get his ass whooped. I know he's fighting Paulie Malignaggi, but come on, man. Lamont Peterson was, you know, I gave Garcia that fight, but Lamont Peterson towards the end, if there was about 2 more rounds left in that fight, Lamont Peterson would have had, you know, it's gonna eat him alive. You know, but anyways, guys, this is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. From request, subscribe. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the support. On to the next boxing fight. Let's see what happens. Have a good one.